guys, it's Mr. Cole from BKBN.net. I'm here with the legend, the greatest, one of the best DC writers and creators of all time, and well, you know, content creator, Miss Gail Simone. Thank you very much for taking a minute with me and the BKBN viewers, and just gonna ask you a few questions. Who or what was the big inspiration for you to get into the comic industry?
Actually, I've read comics since I was a pretty young girl. I watched the syndicated Batman show and fell in love with it, particularly Batgirl. I fell in love with, but I liked Batman as well.
Yeah.
And then when I came across the Justice League comic at a garage sale, I really was taken with Wonder Woman, and then that just kind of snowballed into a lifetime of reading comic books on and off. So I've been reading them for a long time. I actually started just posting little parody pieces on message boards because I live in a small town. There wasn't a comic store, no one to talk to about comics. So I started going online to the message boards to discuss comics. And then I would do little parody pieces, and then that led to a column that I did weekly, and then that led to being asked to write for Simpsons comics. And that's kind of where the comic book writing started. And I actually had a whole nother career at the time. I was a hairdresser, had my own salon, and nobody knew I was writing parody columns or comics or anything for quite a while, and until actually I was going to be receiving checks, and then I finally came forward to my husband and said, I have a secret identity at night. I'm writing comics. And so that's kind of how it all started.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we know that you've been one of the best in DC with what you've done with Wonder Woman, Action Comics, Birds of Prey, and my favorite of all, Secret Six, and Villains United, which got me and a bunch of my friends into comics in the first place.
Wow, very cool.
As the person in charge of that, what were some of the most standout moments for you when writing this stuff? Some moments that really...
Well, I think there's with Secret Six, which is a series about, some morally ambiguous characters in the DC universe. I really think that reimagining Catman, because he was kind of an overweight, out of shape,
we really appreciate
loser villain prior, and now he's like a really hunky Tarzan dude that runs around half nude a lot.
Yes, when the Cheshire likes him.
Yeah, and he's pretty badass. And the creation of Scandal Savage, which is a lesbian character who, she's nearly immortal, and she has some really strong fighting skills and a great character. And I just think that being able to have a book be successful and stay in existence as long as it did, so over 3 years when you total it all together without a Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman character, I think that's kind of a standout for me that happened at all. And then just having Birds of Prey, proving that we could have an all-female cast who were friends with each other, kind of like a buddy cop type of comic book, and have that be successful and bring in new readers in particular, where we had an entire female cast that didn't just fight over boyfriends and gossip about each other behind their back and go shopping. So, which nothing wrong with shopping, but they had more to do than just that. So that was great. And then with Wonder Woman, it was definitely the first arc of the circle. It was really putting a stamp down saying this is a book about women.
And I think that you've done the best with writing female characters. We've all agreed with. Gail Simone, don't put anyone else on it besides you. So I think we're all happy too about the Batgirl.
Oh yeah, Batgirl has been a great book to work on.
I'm glad that you're still on it and creating these awesome stories from which you want. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
We're all really enough.
Yeah, well, the whole point with Batgirl was to write a book that was still inspiring, that she still was an inspiring character, and I think that from the feedback I'm getting from the readers that seems to be definitely something we've accomplished with that as well.
Bringing back your brother was a very personal thing. I thought it was really cool you guys did. It's just really awesome, I thought. But the big question I like to ask people at these conventions is, what are you reading? What's on your pull list?
Unfortunately, I do not have time to read a lot right now because I'm taking on quite a few new projects. But I really do like Scott Snyder's Batman. I like Animal Man. I just pick up pieces here and there, so I'm so far behind, it's so embarrassing. But it's just because I'm trying to get a bunch of new projects off the ground right now.
A lot of people say the same thing. Like I talk to other creators and they're just like, oh man, you know, when I can, I can. If I can't, you know, but I totally understand.
I do have a really long plane ride coming up though, so I'm hoping to catch up. Yeah, I'm hoping to catch up a little bit.
Awesome. Well, we heard about something coming out that you're excited for, called The Movement.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us a brief overview of what it's about?
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited about The Movement because this is something that I don't think has really been done in mainstream comics before, and I feel that if people like Secret Six that we were talking about earlier, people like things about like The Authority back in the day, they'll like The Movement. It's basically a young group of kids who are dirt poor and pissed off and have superpowers. So they're really there's stories about corruption and how they think the best way to handle that is, and whether or not we agree with that remains to be seen. But it's a very powerful, different book, all new characters except for one that I've created that I'm really excited about because they're very different from what we've been seeing currently. Yeah, and the art is amazing. Freddie Williams is doing the interior. Amanda Connor's doing the covers. It looks gorgeous. It's very moody and it's really very cool.
I would love to see more collaborations with you and Amanda.
Me too.
Top of the biz in the female.
Well, actually, I'm taking over Red Sonja starting in July, and Amanda did do a beautiful cover for Red Sonja.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, if you had full creative rights to do whatever you want to do with a character, who would you do and what would you do?
I would love to do something with the Marvel family at someday. I love Captain Marvel and Junior and Mary Marvel. I wouldn't want to really say what I would do with them because I want to wait until if the opportunity ever came up to be able to pitch it and create a whole new plan. But I just think that the concept of Captain Marvel is so brilliant and something that I'm really intrigued by and that pulls me in. So I would like to do that someday.
That's awesome. I'd love to see like your twist on things because you're a great writer and everything. So if you wanted to offer one word of advice to people trying to get into the business of writing or illustrating, what would you say to them?
The main things is first of all you have to actually do the work. You can't just say you want to be a comic book writer or you want to be a comic book artist. It takes a lot of work, a lot of stair-stepping I call it, where you don't start out with DC and Marvel. You usually start out with something very small and you work your way up. So be prepared for that. And there's also online. You can go to the you can Google 10 brutal writing tips, Gail Simone. That'll fill you in pretty well.
Yes, I've heard of that. That's awesome.
But you need to find your own voice. You need to figure out. I think this is the case for anybody in a creative industry at all. You need to find out what you have to offer that no one else has to offer, and then you need to stay true to that. And that's why I'm really excited to see creators of more diversity coming into the industry, because along with that they bring in their own perspective, which I think is so important to broadening out the subject matter, the perspective, the stories we're telling, the locations, all of it. And then we can all learn something new from someone else's perspective. So just find your point of view, what you have to offer, and then figure out how to communicate that.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day. Let me do this little quick interview with you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
And I know that we'll all like this video and we'll share it on BKBN and we'll all enjoy it too. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. You guys have a great MegaCon.
You too.